scientists, Caroline here. Welcome to Environmental Science 2. This course builds on what we explored in Environmental Science 1, and we're going to take it even further. In Environmental Science 1, we learned about the different parts, or spheres, of the environment and how Earth is a closed system, meaning that all of the resources we have are all we will ever have. It's kind of like Earth is a big, self-contained spaceship carrying us through space. But what if this spaceship is a bit more complicated than it seems? And what if changing one part of the ship can set off a chain reaction to all of the parts? For example, imagine that our spaceship has a sophisticated steering system, but every time you move the wheel, there are changes made to the rest of the ship. The heat kicks on, the fuel level drops rapidly, the stereo system gets louder, and the cargo bay doors open. I don't know about you, but if that happened to me, I would be really careful about how I turned the steering wheel, and how often I turn the wheel. Earth functions as an interconnected system, and humans are a part of that system. We interact with our environment to survive, but actions in one sphere can impact the whole system. Throughout this course, we'll explore sustainable solutions to help us protect our environment today and for generations to come. Ready, scientists? Let's get started. A system is a group of parts that interact and affect one another. Like a team, your body, or even a spaceship. A functioning system depends on interconnected parts that all work together. Earth is a closed environmental system composed of 4 interacting spheres. Do you remember what the 4 spheres of the environment are? The geosphere is all the solid stuff: mountains, rocks, soil, even the lava from volcanoes. The hydrosphere includes all of the water on Earth, everything from oceans to puddles, snowflakes to underground aquifers. The atmosphere is the invisible blanket of air that surrounds Earth and keeps us breathing, warm, and protected. And the biosphere is all of the living organisms on Earth: animals, plants, microbes, fungi, and yes, you and me. Each of these spheres plays a different role in supporting life on Earth and keeping the Earth running smoothly. But the real magic happens when they all work together, like pieces of a puzzle joining to make a complete, beautiful picture. Basically, all 4 spheres of the environment constantly interact with each other. And we need all of these parts working together to support life on Earth. For example, living organisms in the biosphere depend on fresh water in the hydrosphere to survive. These bodies of water are created when rain forms in the atmosphere, falls to Earth, and gathers in depressions made in the geosphere. Because all of these spheres interact, one natural event can send ripple effects through all 4 spheres. But humans are an important part of this system too. Humans depend on all 4 spheres. We breathe the atmosphere, drink from the hydrosphere, build with resources from the geosphere, and live among other organisms in the biosphere. But we don't just depend on the system. We also affect it, sometimes in helpful ways and sometimes in harmful ways. For example, let's say humans burn fossil fuels to power factories or cars. That releases pollution into the atmosphere. But the atmosphere interacts with all of the other spheres. Think about the interactions between the atmosphere and the hydrosphere. How might this pollution in the atmosphere get into bodies of water in the hydrosphere? Pause the video here to record your prediction. That pollution mixes with moisture in the air and falls as acid rain, impacting lakes and rivers in the hydrosphere. But that rain doesn't just fall over lakes. It also falls on the geosphere, seeping into the soil. How do you think acid in the soil might impact living organisms in the biosphere? Pause the video here to make your prediction. Extra acid in the soil can be really damaging to plants, especially if they aren't adapted to acidic soil. And if acid in the soil kills plants, herbivores could run out of food, sending a ripple effect through the entire food web. So, one human action, burning fuel, affects all four spheres. That's what we mean by an interconnected system. In a system, no part acts alone. Every action causes reactions. The good news is, if we understand the system, we can make smarter choices that help keep it healthy. We often hear about the damage humans can cause, but here's the truth. Our actions can also restore balance if we understand the system. Let's take wetlands, for example. Wetlands are areas where land and water meet, like swamps, marshes, and bogs. For a long time, humans drained wetlands to build roads or farms. But now we know that protecting and restoring wetlands helps the entire system. When we restore a wetland, we're improving the hydrosphere by holding and filtering water. That helps support life in the biosphere, like birds, frogs, and fish. Wetlands also trap carbon from the atmosphere and store it safely, supporting cleaner air. And they reduce erosion by holding soil in place, which protects the geosphere. One good decision can support all four spheres. That's systems thinking in action. Think back to what you've already learned about human activities in the hydrosphere, biosphere, geosphere, and atmosphere. Can you think of any other positive actions that impact more than one sphere of the environment? Pause the video here to record your ideas. Maybe you thought about replanting trees in areas with deforestation, stabilizing soil in the geosphere, and filtering air in the atmosphere. Or maybe you thought about managing animal populations to prevent overgrazing, protecting plants in the biosphere, and keeping waterways in the hydrosphere clean and free from sediment erosion. Maybe you thought of other examples, and that's okay too. When we see the Earth as a system, we can make choices that create positive ripple effects, not just to prevent harm, but to build a better future. As we went through the lesson today, we learned that Earth is made of four interconnected spheres. Together, these spheres form a system, and humans are a big part of it. In this course, we'll explore how humans interact with these systems. We'll ask questions like, how do our choices affect the Earth? What are the consequences of environmental change? And what can we do about it? By the end of this course, you'll learn to think like a systems scientist, someone who sees the big picture, understands connections, and looks for solutions. Until next time, remember, when humans interact with the Earth, our actions can have big impacts, good and bad. You have the power to make choices that can help our Earth. Keep asking questions, keep connecting the dots, and keep thinking like a scientist. I'm Caroline, and I'll see you next time. Hey, hey.